All right, so we are back. Thank you very, very much. My name again is Kwame Owusu Danso. So before now, we were talking to Kweku Kwanzaa, who is gunning to become the national chairperson of the CPP. Undoubtedly, very intelligent young man, and I believe and I hope that he can, if given opportunity, invigorate, re-energize, revitalize, the spirit of the CPP, isn't it? The glorious Convention People's Party. This morning, I'll be joined in the studio by three firebrands, three of my personal persons. I have here seated James Brown, who, and I always describe him as, the fastest growing politician within the NPP. He's definitely going to go places in that party, even though he doesn't say anything when I say that, but I know deep down in his heart he accepts it. Good morning to you, my brother.
Good morning.
And how are we?
I'm doing
How was the
good.
weekend?
It was very packed, I should say.
Eh?
Very, very, very packed.
Absolutely. So you are very tired, I guess.
Charlie, for God and country.
Family, party.
All inclusive. All inclusive. All inclusive.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
But this is what we can do for God and for country.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Soprano, SYLVESTER SARPONG is also here seated. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Today you are dressed like somebody from a political party I know.
Probably coincidence.
A capitalist appearance.
Sheer coincidence. Sheer coincidence.
I want no salad at all.
You don't like salad?
I've had none.
So when you get salad, you eat it?
Well, I mean, it is the mark of progress in some parts of some realms.
So those of us who don't eat salad, we are not progressing.
That's what I've been saying. That if you are invited to the salad feast or the salad fest, then
so if you are invited, you go and eat it.
Well, if it is with the taxpayers' money, I have to take my share. You know what I'm saying? If the taxpayers' money is used to,
You can join the MPP. The way I see you.
It is sheer coincidence that my colors are like the MPP today.
The Lali Sewakbo is also here seated, another firebrand from the NDC. Good morning to you, my brother.
Good morning.
How are we? And how's Kaswa and how did they even describe the woman? What's the woman? Kumsin, how was the nigger? Oh, you didn't see those? Yeah. There was a design of her looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
You know that movie, I'll Be Back or something like that. Terminator, something. And then they changed the name to Hawazinega. Go on to you guys. Let me quickly take you through the topics for our conversation today. But before then, let me also remind you that the WhatsApp number is active. It's 0260846539. So COVID-19, South Africa virus cases pass 500,000 mark. Wow. 500,000, so over 500,000. That's serious, eh? EC's claim of multiple registrations suspicious. IMANI. Akufo-Addo using military and MPP thugs in ethnic discrimination. Mahama, the National Democrat, reported that MPP borrows 135 billion in 3 years, but nothing to show for it. Daily Democrat said that registration violence. Kaswa Council of Churches endorses gunshots by Howard Kumsin. Hey! Endorses? Where's the insight? Give me the insight, Yusufa. Let me read from the paper itself. I want to be sure if the endorsement is true. Okay, so wait. Registration violence. Kaswa Council of Churches endorses gunshots by Howard Kumsin. Hey! I see. Wow. Anyway, free primary health care at last. The Insight newspaper also reported that story. And I'm sure you recall that former president and the leader and flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, opined sometime last week that, he was going to ensure that there's free primary health care. And I'm sure that's why the Insight newspaper has captured that. And also on the front page, you have MPs push for finance minister's dismissal, NLA grants, license to KGL Tech Limited. So these are the topics that we're going to be discussing on today. Let's start with the African story. South Africa COVID-19 cases pass 500,000 mark. These are captured. This particular story is captured on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, not the front page actually, page 5 of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's dispatch this quickly and then look at the local stories that we have here. Let me remind you again that we're streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television, and we're also available via WhatsApp and text number, so you can send us your views and comments here. Quickly, Soprano, let's start with the South African story. And then we move on to
yes,
the
Kwame, and good morning to you, my colleagues here, and fellow Ghanaians. And Kwame, thank you so much.
What's up, fellow Ghanaians? What's up, fellow Ghanaians?
I got this video on WhatsApp, and the President, His Excellency, it started with President Akufo-Addo saying, fellow Ghanaians. And then there was this cartoon that said, "Oh, Jaya, come there." But yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. Good morning to you, gentlemen. And Kwame, so the South African story really confirms that COVID-19 is going to be with us for a while yet. And it's rather unfortunate that the South African situation seems to be exploding under the circumstances. It looks like they have the highest exposure on the continent.
Everything, they have the highest. HIV, AIDS, they have the highest.
They also have the highest deposits of diamonds and gold too. to be nice to them. So it seems to me that the virus will be with us for the next several years. And indeed, I keep praying that the epicenter does not shift to Africa, because as you can remember, it all started in Wuhan, and then Italy and Spain, in Europe, became the epicenters. And then we all saw how the administration of Prime Minister Boris Johnson also fumbled with it, and even Johnson himself was very lucky he was not taken, but by the grace of God. And now it looks to be, causing havoc in Bolsonaro's Brazil. Okay, but at least in Africa and in Ghana, to be specific, there's no denying we take it seriously. Our president has taken it very seriously. As a member of a Convention People's Party, I cannot help but notice that it appears President Akufo-Addo has turned his COVID-19 updates into some sort of political theater to advance his political fortunes whilst seeking to address the issue in Ghana. So I think he's trying to kill two birds with one stone. But there's only one bird that will be killed under the circumstances. Thank you. So I'm praying that it doesn't explode in the manner it has, in places like Brazil and has occurred in Europe, etc. And even what is happening in America, of all places, the dismal, sad story of the response of the United States to the COVID-19 virus. It's a very big disappointment to those of us who had been professing American exceptionalism, that they couldn't even handle this virus, the American way, as we all expected, and thereby sort of ceding the leadership of handling this COVID-19 situation, to people like President Akufo-Addo, who is actually performing better than President Trump under the circumstances. You see, so we are really sad about that. I think Ghanaians and all of us listening around the world, we must take responsibility for ourselves in these times, and be careful with issues of hand washing and social distancing, and of course, the use of the cloth mask has been, really helping a lot. As Dr. Burks, one of the ladies, a top medical personnel on the U.S. team handling the COVID-19 crisis. Kwame, I also think that we should, further push this our effort to tame the virus by advocating certain indigenous remedies, not necessarily as cures, as much as immune boosters. Okay, this is an opportunity for the Center for Scientific and Scientific Research into Plant Medicine to do some magic, so to speak. We have indigenous remedies or indigenous, products that can seek to begin to tackle this virus. And if immune system boostage is one of the ways to, seek to begin to address the spread of this virus, I think then, people at the Mampong Center for Scientific Industrial Scientific research into plant medicine should use this opportunity to, introduce certain products on the market that might begin to, take advantage of some of the opportunities that are emerging with the COVID. What do I mean by opportunities? We are expecting that in October, that the United States government would likely release a vaccine. Although I don't know how many people will be ready to go and take it, because it looks like it might be an election gimmick. President Trump has been devastated in the polls by his performance or lack of performance as regards the COVID-19, and it looks like President Trump's team is trying to spring what they call an October surprise on all of us by introducing a vaccine, forgive me, in a bid to change his fortunes. So we wait with trepidation and a lot of caution for the so-called or the introduction of a vaccine. Although I must point out that it is people, the conservative supporters of President Trump, who are the core of the anti-vaccine movement in America, who members of whom even don't want to take measles vaccine, causing the re-emergence of measles on a large scale in the United States. So there is this anti-vaccine movement, and I think that I must confess that as somebody who follows what is occurring in the realm of science and technology, I'm very cautious about this so-called vaccine, that is the imminent introduction of this vaccine that has been produced at such short notice. And I hope that we have competent scientists at the Noguchi Memorial, and I hope that they would come in and help us with that regard. But I guess in conclusion, that I would say that we wish the people of South Africa well. They should take the advice of the medical professionals seriously. Social distance, stay at home if you don't have anywhere going. Ghana, for instance, one of the reasons why probably, Kwame, one of the reasons why the virus has not spread as profoundly as we had feared initially is because Ghanaians are already staying at home. This is because the unemployment situation in the country is so devastating. President Akufo-Addo has not been able to create jobs. So people are already staying at home, Mr. President. It's not because of your advice. People don't have anywhere to go. There are no jobs that you have created that they will go to get a virus. So we are stuck at home, Mr. President, because of your continued inability to create jobs in this economy, despite borrowing over 130 billion United States dollars. But we still have faith that President Akufo-Addo might yet be able to pull this thing out of the fire. With a few months, 3 months to go, and with a supermajority in Parliament, the president can still do something before he goes home in January.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very much.
Soprano. Let me now come to James.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let me say assalamu alaikum to our Muslim brothers who over the weekend celebrated their Eid al-Adha. And you can always trust Soprano. Anytime you feel that he is saying something positive, then he will end it in a way that you will not be so happy about. But I think the issue about COVID is serious. And like the popular, proverb that says that at somebody else's funeral, that you have to mourn your own death. It means that, taking a cue from what is happening in South Africa, we as a country, Ghana, we must also be on the watch out to make sure that we don't have escalated numbers like what is happening in South Africa. It's very unfortunate. If you look at the South African population, well over 60 million people, and you haven't, such a number, 5 million or even more of its population having tested positive for the virus. I think it would affect their workforce in a way. And knowing the South Africa that we know, this is not good news at all for even the continent of Africa. And so, personally, I want to look at it from a point of view that, yes, South Africa has an issue, but what is Ghana also going to learn out of this? Because, like I said, at other people's funeral, you have to also mourn your own death. Because what if Ghana's cases also, it becomes very threatening like the way South Africa is? So what is South Africa doing wrong? Or what are they not doing proper? So it's important that at any point in time, we need to, hammer on the safety protocols and what we need to do as a people to make sure that we don't, assist the virus in creating such havoc for our dear beloved nation. And it is very also important that we have to give credit to the President of the Republic of Ghana, who over time has received international recommendations in the way he has handled this COVID issues in this country. If you read an African journal, Africa Up Close, they mention exclusively that at a meeting held by WHO, the President of the Republic of Ghana was highly commended. And if I may, you say that President Akufo-Addo's leadership in the COVID-19 fight, in addition to winning broad national praise, has also received favorable international commentary. For example, at a virtual meeting held by the World Health Organization's regional office in Accra on May 6th, Ghana was heralded alongside 5 other countries for having the most innovative and effective plans in the management of the pandemic. It gives me an idea that Ghana is actually doing something very right in the Committee of Nations. And so I will not waste time at all. I would want to encourage South Africa to, as it were, as a matter of urgency, find a way to engage the Ghanaian leadership to see how best, if the situation is becoming overwhelming at their end, they can adopt 1 or 2 things. But what has been the Ghanaian strategy? Right from the onset, the president announced that his strategy is a 5 key strategy, which was the first to, as it were, limit the importation and the importation of the virus. That was way back somewhere in March 22nd or so. And so even at that time, the knowledge about the virus was much limited, but the president was very bold enough to say that this is one of the strategies that I want to employ, which was to limit the importation of the virus. So you remember that the borders, air, land, and sea were closed. The second thing was that the government wanted to have a way to contain the community spread. That is how come we were trumpeting the social, protocols that we were talking about, that even there was a partial lockdown at a point in time, because we believe that the movement of people also aids in the transmission of the virus. And so that was the second strategy that government adopted. Also, the third was to provide adequate health care to reduce, mortality. If you look at Ghana's case, the active cases as of this morning is around 4,000 something. But if you look at the mortality rates, you are able to see and tell that indeed there is something we are doing right. I think it's 162 or so. We are not so happy about it, even if 1 person dies. But looking at the percentage of death, it tells you that Ghana has a recovery rate more than 80 on almost 90%, which is good news. The fourth thing was also to try and mitigate the socioeconomic impact of the virus. And clearly, in recent times, you remember the president announced certain freebies from the government, free water, free electricity, and all that, and even went ahead to supply the vulnerable and the people who could not provide. In those times, certain hot meals, and some people were even given how do you call it, raw meals, so that they could also help mitigate the socioeconomic impact that the virus would create. But I think government is focused and making sure that what is happening across the world. And like you said, South Africa is about the 5th most affected country in the world. If you take away the America, the Brazil, I think Spain or so, South Africa. And it is very worrying that an African state would climb to, in fact, when we talk about Africa, we should be competing with them when it comes to, the good things. We are not so interested when Africa is mentioned amongst the countries that are faced with the negativities, especially like COVID is being mentioned. And so it's unfortunate, but I believe that they can learn something from the Ghanaian factor and what Akufo-Addo is doing right. And like I've indicated, these steps that the president is taking in this country, it has helped mitigate the issues far better here in this country, which is good for us.
Thank you very much, James Brown. Let me remind the viewers again that we're streaming live on Facebook, and we are also available on YouTube as well. You can also send us your views and comments to our WhatsApp number, which is 0260846539. Let's now come to you, Delali.
Kwame, let me use this opportunity to say good morning to your cherished viewers and to my own incoming MP, Felix Nakoyo Kuno, my constituency chairman, Stephen Ofusu Ajari, And thanks for giving me the opportunity this morning, Kwame. The South Africa story, it's a very sad one. We expected that South Africa as one. Whatever affected the continent largely affected us as a country as well. So we'll, as much as possible, appeal to our South African folks to do everything possible to ensure that they are able to keep the virus at bay so that it doesn't degenerate into something else. Because we have seen instances even in the United States of America, China, other countries that were ravaged with the virus. All of a sudden there's another outbreak that they have to contend with. So it's quite a sad story. The best we can do under these circumstances is to hope and pray that these figures that is being recorded in South Africa will reduce drastically so that at the end of the day we'll be able to get back to our normalcy. I mean, the point is we are not in normal times, and the whole world has been taken aback. As we speak now, the issue about when are we going to get the vaccine or the cure for the COVID-19 is not something that we are aware of. The superpower countries or superpower nations, the scientists in the world, as we speak now, they keep on, churning out a lot of theories. Today they will give us hope that, they are even on the verge of discovering the cure or vaccine. The next day it becomes a different thing altogether. So as we speak now, we have to take, protect ourselves, take certain measures to ensure that this whole virus thing doesn't degenerate into something else. So it's not pleasant, and it's not something I think anybody within the SAARC region or the entire continent is happy about, especially when you talk about South Africa as one of the developed or one of the advanced countries within the continent. But I think when you even compare the issue about South Africa relative to Ghana, in terms of the death rate, you're talking about almost about 511,485 people having contracted it in South Africa. And so, but you're talking about a death rate that is hovering around 150 something. So relatively, you're talking about South Africa even doing better than Ghana when it comes to their mortality rate. It tells you the extent to which maybe their government is doing better than us. Quite interesting. I listened to my colleague Charles, trying as much as possible to create certain impression that President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo have done well when it comes to fighting against COVID-19. And even the issue when he quoted a particular journal, I mean, in a way that sort of created the impression that the President of the Republic of Ghana is being applauded for having waged, fight against COVID-19. When it matters most within the SAARC region, ECOWAS, when they were looking for somebody to spearhead the fight against the COVID-19, that was on the 23rd of April this year. I mean, people were even thinking about the fact that with the lot of noise that were made by the MPP, President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo would have been considered as the person who will lead the ECOWAS task force when it comes to fighting against COVID-19. But that particular mantle fall on the Nigerian president. And at that time, it tells you how abysmal we have become as a country when it comes to fighting against the COVID-19. When it comes to the importation of COVID-19, we all know the first person to have imported COVID-19 into this country was somebody that the president was gallivanting and globe-trotting with. I'm talking about a diplomat far away in Norway, and he was the first person that contracted the virus, and it was reported in this country. That even as we speak, a lot of Ghanaians believe that it was President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo himself who actually imported the virus into this country by proximity and what have you. And you see, when you talk about, and the fact that, because of adequate health facility, Kwame, you are here, I dare every member of the MPP mention one medical facility constructed by the MPP in dealing with this COVID-19. None. All the medical facility that we are using as a country to fight against this COVID-19 has to do with the vision and the legacy of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
It doesn't belong to him. It's not his personal property.
It might not be, but the point is that is his legacy. Nobody can take it away from him. So if you are talking,
but it was built with the taxpayers' money.
I'm not disputing.
I don't want us to get into this.
I'm not disputing. People are even. Kwame, what is more important is this: you're having a political party who, at every single opportunity, they want to undermine the achievements of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So it's up to us and the discerning Ghanaians to expose them for who they are. It's because you can't be telling the good people of this country that Labour Medical Center, Rich Hospital was once upon a time a Photoshop. And this time around, the same Photoshop is what we see MPP apparatchiks and people who have contracted this COVID-19. That is where they are taking treatment and receiving treatment. And that is what I call duplicity. So if you come and sit down here and talk about the fact that, oh, the MPP have done well when it comes to provision of medical facility, and you fail to acknowledge the man who is the visionary, the man whose vision that gave us this medical facility, then you are being disingenuous. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay. And I think President Nana Danso, in all fairness, when he was doing all this address and, you know, my fellow Ghanaians and what have you, I think he should have had that body of humility and admit that my predecessor, but for my predecessor, Ghana would have been in a messy state. All right. But my predecessor providing all this facility, Ghana would have been in a mess. All right. And to wrap it up with it, you know, this issue about 54 million Ghana cedis, I mean, as it were, was the money that we used in providing hot food for Ghanaians who were vulnerable and what have you.
That's not accurate. And KOD, you should correct him.
KOD.
Which one? The 54 million?
KOD. It was not 54 million. The minister says 12.
See, the finance minister, it was an after. It was a complete after.
So let's...
After the bashing, that he received from the Ghanaian
public. Then we broke it down.
Exactly.
But regardless, I mean, but the 54 million encompasses several other things.
Exactly.
Yeah, but essentially we've spent 54 million Ghana cedis.
Not on hot food.
Yeah, but the hot food is 12 million.
12 million. Which in itself, which is scandalous. You see,
because in my area they were giving them cocoa with a piece of bread in the cocoa.
You see, I mean, Kwame, for that one,
piece of bread in the cocoa.
You know, James wanted to laugh, but even if he laughs, you can't see it.
You see, for that one, you see, the Ghanaians are so discerning. We all know what Ghanaians went through. We saw the gory pictures. We saw the harrowing pictures that were trending, the videos that were trending, how Ghanaians had to go through a lot of difficulties. People, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, have to go to various houses, share almost about 20,000 households, has to provide them what we call food and what have you. We saw what was going on. So if at the end of the day you are coming to tell us that you spend a hoping 12 million Ghana, let's take it like what we are saying. When it comes to provision of what we call hot food to the good people of this country, Ghanaians are discerning. They knew what they enjoyed during the lockdown. So if they do the comparison, they'll come to appreciate the fact that this whole thing is so scandalous. But what I'm just saying is that if President Nana Danso, you want us to applaud the president for being able to fight or be able to wage a war against this COVID. Okay. President Nana Danso shouldn't have let somebody like Carlos Ahim crying.
Thank you.
Off the hook.
Thank you very much. Well, you're still watching the Newspaper Review segment here on your #1 station, Pan African Television. This undoubtedly is the most watched morning show across the continent, and in Ghana is #1, numero uno. So share the post on Facebook. Make sure that your colleagues, your friends, your family members are able to also watch and join in the conversation. It's very interactive, so your WhatsApp messages are very, 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 very needed. 026084653 is the WhatsApp number. Share with us what your thoughts are. We'll be glad to read them here for you. Now let's come back home and deal with some of the very important issues here. The EC has been laying claims to the fact that multiple registration exists. Okay, the EC has been laying claims to the fact that multiple registration exists, but IMANI Ghana disagrees with that. IMANI Ghana says that the EC's claim of multiple registration is very, very suspicious, and they've highlighted a number of reasons. But I don't want to sound like a political communicator. Therefore, I'll leave it to the politicians to discuss this matter, and you will be the best judge as the viewers. Let me start with you again, Delali. Do you subscribe to the assertion by IMANI Ghana that the EC's claim of multiple registration is suspicious? And what would be your basis for saying that?
Kwame, thanks for this opportunity once again. You see, the Electoral Commission of the Republic of Ghana, I think they want to take the good people of this country for granted. I think from day one, the argument that they advance as the basis of compiling this new voter register, it's not what we are seeing, it's not what we're witnessing. I mean, they told the good people of this country that, you know, they are coming up with a new voter register that is credible, that have a way and a means to detect multiple registration. And this is one of the compelling arguments that he made. Prior to convincing Ghanaians why they need to compile a new voter register. And for strange reason, the Electoral Commission comes out to come and tell the good people of this country that they have detected multiple registration.
At which centers?
At which centers? We need the specifics. Are they conjecturing? Are they assuming? Because if you are telling us that you've detected multiple registration, it means that you have been able to identify the particular polling station, the particular constituency, and the particular region that you've been able to detect this multiple registration. So why are you not giving us the specifics? Why are you engaging in a realm of conjecturing? Why are you positing the minds of the people, for this level of suspicion? Is it because you think that, okay, a certain group of people or certain people numbers are going higher, and for that matter, you think that you're coming up with this excuse? What is the basis of this multiple registration that we are talking about? Because when you listen to some of this, experts, when they are even saying that as we speak now, what we are doing is basically offline. So how was the Electoral Commission able to detect this? And to me, it's baffling. And I don't know what this Electoral Commission led by Madam Jane Mensah, what the agenda is, what the mindset is, what this whole conspiracy theory, I don't know what it's all about. I mean, if you're talking about, because see, if people do multiple registration, we are using our fingerprint, is that not the biometric, this is what?
Absolutely.
We're not be able to detect it. Because if it's not able to detect it, then it's stands to argue that what other experts are making this claim that, okay, as we speak now, it's offline, and for that matter, you're unable to detect it. If it's offline, and for that matter, you are not be able to detect it, then how do you establish that there's a multiple registration? And if you're able to establish that there's a multiple registration, give us the specifics. I don't want to believe that the worldly, perceive thought that this whole thing is ostensibly done to help the incumbent regime to suppress votes in the stronghold of the what you call the NDC. I don't want to believe that is what the Electoral Commission is up to, because a lot of evidence abound that to me confirms that this Electoral Commission is an extension of the MPP Election Directorate.
Hey,
I'm telling you the truth.
how did you come to that conclusion?
This Electoral Commission posture, their actions and inaction, for me, confirmed to me that they are working even more harder than the MPP Election Directorate. And I don't understand the reason why they want to force an incumbent on the good people of this country. Are
you seeking to suggest that the EC wants to rig the election on behalf of the MPP?
I'm not the one saying it. Even a 10-year-old.
But you people, you see, and this kind of assertion by the NDC is very, excuse my language, very nauseating. I mean, so you are supporting it literally. You are saying that, okay, they want to rig the elections. We know they want to rig the elections, but we want them to rig the elections.
No, that's not what I'm Kwame.
No, because I've been reading this same thing on social media, being put out by the MPP that the NDC guys that, they want to rig the elections. It's like, yeah, okay with it. It's like,
what we are saying is, Kwame,
what's that supposed to mean?
Kwame, the reason why we are here, like as we sit down here, a lot of Ghanaians know what is going on in this country, but we are just here to amplify it. We are just here to let the people.
Then what?
Then you see, Kwame, you don't expect me to put whatever strategy that the NDC have on air.
Okay.
And I don't think that the mere fact that we are talking about it doesn't mean that we are sitting down.
Are you setting the stage for when you lose? When you say that the elections were rigged? Is that what you're trying to do?
The NDC will not lose the 2020 election. The NDC will form the next government come 7 January 2021. There's no doubt about it. But what we are just simply saying is we want the good people of this country to know what is going on. It's enough for us to let people know that this is what the Electoral Commission is doing. Per their actions and inactions, it has demonstrated that Madam Jane Mensah-led EC is actually doing the bidding of the MPP. Because this is an Electoral Commission that you have even, Dr. Bosman Asari, who will just come on there and even describe the NDC in an unpalatable, what we call, manner, saying that the NDC is an existential threat to Ghana democracy. And when you have a deputy director of EC making such comments, what do you expect us to say? So we are just letting the good people of this country know that, listen, in as much as the NDC as a political party is poised to win an election 2020, we are not oblivious of the fact that the machination and the conspiracy the what you call between the MPP and the current electoral commission led by Madam Jane Mensah, what you call Jane Mensah. That is exactly what we are saying. It's not like we are throwing our hands into the air, into despair that, oh, okay, it's a foregone conclusion, they've rigged it. See, the good people of this country know that come 7 December, they want to vote for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And that one is not in doubt. But it's also up towards the NDC to let Ghanaians know that, see, if you see the electoral commission, for instance, you think if you had not come out to let Ghanaians know that they have padded what they call figures in their central region, would they have come out to admit that indeed they've erred? If the NDC had not organized a press conference telling the good people of this country, when you go to a central region, a constituency, they have padded what we call registration to the tune of 30,000. And now the UC come and admit that indeed we have erred. What the NDC is saying is the truth. So it tells Ghanaians that the NDC is not only making noise, but we are saying things that are really happening. So for me, if the Electoral Commission, what do you call it, is telling us there are multiple registrations, what do you call whatever it is, we need the specifics. And Kwame, I also expect journalists in this country to stand up and demand certain answers from the Electoral Commission. Because when we the NDC come and say it, as usual, no, we are just doing it for political expediency. But I keep on saying, the journalists have the right to hold the Electoral Commission responsible when it makes certain what we call trans. Because you cannot just come and make a statement that people have registered multiple registrations and you're not giving us any evidence to what they call it, to buttress your argument. Where is the evidence? Or is it because they want to say it so that they will justify deleting of what we call names? People who have legitimately registered. Because what is happening all over, I believe we'll be coming to that topic, Kwame. We'll be coming to that topic.
Yeah.
Because what is happening all over points to one obvious fact, that this Electoral Commission is in cahoot with the MPP to do something in order to ensure that President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo remain in power. But like I've said, nothing can stop NDC from coming to power. Nothing can prevent President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo from being defeated come 7 December 2020. No amount of machination that the MPP will employ in cahoot with the Electoral Commission will be able to retain President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. And I always tell the MPP something. Maybe a lot of them have no sense.
Is the NDC not being hypocritical on this with this subject matter? Because if the EC was also acting in a way which was in tandem with your own position, would you have then said that the EC was operating for and on behalf of the MPP? Are you not being hypocritical?
We are not being hypocritical.
Because it's either yes or no. Okay, unfortunately, the EC has taken a position that appears to be the position of the MPP. So on what basis are you intimating that because the EC is acting in a way that appears to be the position of the MPP, they are doing everything to rig the election on behalf of the MPP? Are you being very hypocritical?
Kwame,
Yes.
we sit down here. You listen to the Electoral Commission prior to the compilation of the new voter register.
Yes.
What you are witnessing today, was that the position of the Electoral Commission prior to the compilation of the new voter register?
What was their position?
The issue about what we call facial recognition. Did you witness it when you visited the what they call registration center? Was it not one of the strong arguments that the Electoral Commission advanced when it comes to the basis of compiling the new voter? Did you witness it when you visited to register? What you witnessed when you were doing the registration, is it different from what you have witnessed in the past? Why is the MPP as a political party who supported the Electoral Commission position as facial recognition being one of the basis of compiling, why are they all of a sudden backtracking? Why is it that all of a sudden when you go to even a document that the Electoral Commission is supposed to make available to the various political parties, they make it available to the MPP, they don't make it available to the NDC? Why is that when the Electoral Commission wants to conduct an IPAC meeting, they give the communique, they notify the NDC 30 minutes or 40 minutes prior to the meeting, but the MPP had it 24 hours before time. So these are evidence that the NDC, any logical person will just based on and realize that this Electoral Commission led by Madam Jane Mensah is basically doing the bidding of the MPP. Because the point is this, when you listen to what I was just telling you, you said the previous register, there were God's names, multiple registration, minors and what have you not. And this particular register was meant to detect all this and do away with all this thing. So is it not confusing that after spending a whopping millions of dollars to compile this new voter register with the thinking that all these abnormalities will be dealt with, and today, even before we come out with what they call the official number of people who have registered and what have you, the Electoral Commission have started showing tendency of admitting that there's a multiple registration. Can't we see? This particular statement even calls for charging people for what? Causing financial loss to the state. Because if you mislead the good people of this country, then the basis of compiling this is to deal with this. And even before we are done with the exercise, you are admitting that indeed there's a multiple registration. Are you not a candidate for causing financial loss to the state? How much money have we spent in this exercise? And why are you telling us this? Are we not going to use another money to deal with this thing that they are telling us? What is the essence of all this? What is the meaning of all this? So for me, I have maintained, see, having listened to Ghanaians, having visited a lot of registration centers, having monitored what is going on in this country, I am saying that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, nothing can stop President John Dramani Mahama assuming the mantle of leadership come 7 January 2021. And finally, I was saying something, the NPP themselves, you see, a lot of them probably have no sense of history. 2008, Kwame, they did worse than this. 2008. See, they did so many things prior to the 2008 election. Even after the second round, what didn't they try to do in time? See, even to the extent that they went to court on a holiday. The constituted court on a holiday. The machination, the attempt to carry dead bodies, go and dump them in the voter register, just to create an impression to Dr. Farijan Dalasin. Their agent have been made. All these things they tried in 2008, they couldn't succeed. When the people are determined, when they are committed to change an ineffective, clueless, nepotistic, corrupt administration, there's nothing you can do to stop the will of the people. So they can do whatever they want to do. When the time comes, the good people of this country will speak, and they will speak loudly, unequivocally, to the extent that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, owing to his achievement, credibility, verifiable, visible projects that are bound all over, the good people of this country will ensure that President John Dramani Mahama will give it another chance to ensure that this country is put on the right path. Not this regime that we are witnessing that is for selected few. If you are not within their inner circle, you don't enjoy anything from them.
Thank you very much. Delali Sowokpo is clearly on fire this morning, and he's not laughing at all. He's not laughing at all. Let me go for this quick commercial break. When I return, we're going to be listening to Soprano SARPONG SYLVESTER speak to this particular issue. Stay with us. We shall return shortly. I'll read a few messages before I go to Soprano. Stay with us.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA. Advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Let me do a few messages before. Welcome back. Let me do a few messages before I move to Soprano SARPONG SYLVESTER. Kwame, good morning to you. Indeed, your show is number one. Kwame, the EC is showing clearly that it's operating on a political line, and Delali is just speaking to the real issues. Fayol, watching you from Nkwanta South. Good morning to you, Fayol. Good morning, Pan African TV. It's very amazing hearing EC saying there's multiple registration when that was one of the reasons why they had to compile a new voters register. Abdul from Tamale sent in this one. Please come in next time. Allow we the listeners to call into your program. Grace sent in this one. It says the NPP government are thinking Ghana is for them. EC claiming double registration is very suspicious. I think the EC and the NPP government are taking Ghanaians for granted. So the EC is proving to the world that the new registration that is going on is not authentic. So then let us go back for our old voters register, which voted them into power. She should prove that double registration for Ghanaians and to see the EC is corrupt. It goes on and on and on. This one says, Mr. Host, you are not being fair this morning. Stop interjecting unnecessarily against the NDC man. MPP is a disaster. Don't you know? How and where on earth could Mr. Domolevo be sacked, his door locked? Ghanaians will cry seriously if Akufo-Addo wins again. Akufo-Addo is a threat to Ghana's democracy. How can he refuse to comment and even disassociate himself from Madam Hawa Kumson? She is still moving freely. Oh, what a lawless country Ghana has become. Well, good morning to you, KOD. I love the way you host your guests. You are my best journalist. No one can tarnish the image of JDM. MPP has failed us. Corrupt, sycophant, arrogant style of government. We are fed up. And come December 2020, we are going to kick them out. J&J for 2020, Mahama Yusuf Borisuma Tamalinov. My regards to Haj Farihan Al-Hassan of Stanbic Bank. This one also says, Your Royal Highness, good morning. Thanks for the information. Fortunately, I use both currencies. Hey, which currencies are you referring to? What is government doing to include the residents who were not connected to electricity before March 2020, which is the benchmark for consideration? My new house was connected to electricity in April, and I don't know what you are talking about, my brother. When you have a paranoid leader who claims to have performed better than any president in the history, but thinks anybody registering other than his tribe is going to vote for opposition party, what would you expect? How can you expect much from a person whose words and actions are totally opposite? From Anafi in Tamale. This one is from Musa Abatwa in Kuma. Let's be fair to the fact that since when did the military become part of our electoral system? It's so disheartening and share wickedness on the part of government trying to disenfranchise many Ghanaians by deploying armed forces, targeting NDC strongholds and intimidating the voters. Okay, all right. Musa Abatwa, thank you very much for your message. This one says, good morning to you. MPP said they used 54 million for food for 21 days. We thank them, pa. This one also says, Tomala Inman-Kransu says, it is very disheartening that Ghana has slipped into an abyss of international embarrassment in the 21st century due to the state of sponsored oppression, harassment, intimidation, and prevention of bona fide Ghanaians from registering in the ongoing voter registration exercise. Why is it that these ugly things are happening in the era of human rights lawyer and against only accounts, especially votarians? Anyway, okay, right. So I have read a few messages. I'll read the rest. This one says, good morning to you, Kwame. Delali, you are too much. JDM all the way from Akakpo, inside who? I thought it was Frank Akakpo. Good morning to you, KOD. What Delali is saying is not hypocritical at all. You are not being fair this morning. You are arguing in favor of MPP. Please allow the party representative to argue on the show. That is what happens. So sometimes I'm NDC, sometimes I'm MPP. Hey! Viewers, you people, you will kill me in this country. Anyway, let me now come to you, Soprano Support Sylvester. You've listened to the Lally speak on this subject matter. What will be your own description of what is transpiring relative to the EC's conduct, relative to the registration exercise, relative to the fact that the EC is opining that we have double registration? And yesterday, I had the occasion to go on Facebook and say that I was going to go to court because from all indications, the very reason why we decided to compile a new voters register is still prevalent. I.e. the fact that we have people being bashed from other places to go and register somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I.e. the fact that, as the EC itself has admitted, we have double registration. And so these are, very important, critical elements of the registration exercise, that was seen as inimical, for which reason we needed to compile a new voters register. If it is prevalent now, then of what importance is the new voters ID card?
Yes. Kwame, thank you. And it's very sad, that you point this thing out. But Ghanaians should not be surprised. Personally, I'm not surprised at all of what is occurring right now. you talk about the fact that busing of people to different parts of the country to go and register is occurring. It's occurring not only within the New Patriotic Party, but also the members of the NDC are also doing it. It is occurring because this Fourth Republic that we are living in it, as some people say, this Fourth Republic has been dominated by the NPP and the NDC, and they keep on doing the same thing and then comparing themselves in some exercise in mediocrity. You understand? So I'm not at all surprised. In fact, Kwame, you see, the reason why Ghana is suffering, the reason why the unemployment situation is so high, and I was saying that one of the reasons why COVID-19 has not exploded in Ghana is because of the massive unemployment. People are already staying at home. President Akufo-Addo has not been able to change that. So the good luck for President Akufo-Addo as regards the COVID-19 situation being relatively under control in Ghana is because the president is not able to create jobs. If people had a job to do and they were getting up to go and sit in a taxi or trot to go to work, the virus would have been really flying around, so to speak. But because the president, after 4 years, has by and large just exacerbated the unemployment situation, the people are staying at home. I mean, you know this, Kwame. People listening to me know this. The NPP man here, James, he agrees that most young people who have finished school over the past 15 years are still staying at home. It is an NDC NPP problem. And what is going on that Delali, Delali was, the last thing Delali said was, if you are not part of the NPP, you don't get anything. You see, that's what Delali said. You don't get contracts, you don't get a job, you don't get any salad, nothing. But you see, when he was speaking, I thought it was it reminded me of one Berima Sapon. Berima Sapon is now working with, Mr. Berima Sapon is now working with the National Health Insurance. I think you may know him. He's the PRO. In 2015, 2015, Berima and I used to show up at GBC. Okay? And he was representing, like you are representing for NPP right now. And then the NPP won the election. And now Berima is no longer coming on radio. He's busy working at the National Health Insurance as a PR, okay, but he used to make these same allegations. I remember, just as the lie is saying, that the NDC government, if you are not part of them, you don't get anything, you don't get contracts, you don't get a job, you don't get any salad. And now Berima is in power, so we are not hearing him anymore. You see, and now the NDC, Dela, is complaining about the salad and the lack of it, or something like that. So the situation is a problem. Ghanaians, we must come to our senses and understand that over the past 40 years, it's the same people who have been running this country into the ground. If the situation in Ghana is not good today, then you should put the blame on President Rawlings, President J. Akufo, Nana Akufo-Addo, President Mahama. These gentlemen have been around since the 1980s. Turning our economy to the left, turning it to the right, taking it up, taking it down, all in a bid to take us nowhere. We have gotten nowhere. The situation has gotten even more dire than it was. You understand? And Ghanaians must understand, please, my fellow Ghanaians, if we continue to vote for Nana Akufo-Addo's party and President Mahama's party, do not expect things to change. These are the same people. You understand? President J. Akufo, he was a member of the PNDC coup d'etat peoples who took power from President Liman by force. You understand? President Nana Akufo-Addo, he has been in this Fourth Republican Parliament. He has been around forever. He's been involved in government forever. The systemic problems we are facing are the responsibility and the creations of President J. Akufo, President J.J. Rawlings, President Akufo-Addo, and President Mahama. So when the NPP and the NPP come around and they start complaining again, I really don't get it. And my fellow Ghanaians, especially the youth, look, it is election time. Are you going to go and vote for these two people again? Do you think they will do anything different? So we in the Convention People's Party, we keep on telling you the truth. You can continue to go and vote for the NPP, okay, or the NDC, and your situation will not change because they don't have any ideas. They've had all the time in the world to change this country. They've exercised enough power. President Akufo-Addo is exercising tremendous power. But the situation is still Yamutu, no lie, no job. Always, excuses, always big talk, and no jobs for the youth of this country. So right
Can I
now,
appreciate that frustration? It's important for you to highlight those things, but at the moment,
Yes.
what we're talking about has to do
with the EC.
with the EC.
Yes, and I'm coming
and
there.
its conduct. And
Yes.
so I want us to be very focused,
Sure.
laser focused on this particular issue.
I agree, Kwame.
Yes.
You see, and the reason I digressed in that direction is because the EC is at the core of getting these two people into office, because they are the gatekeepers. You understand? Personally, when I look at what is occurring, at the Electoral Commission, in fact, over the past few years, since the days of Mrs. Charlotte Osei, okay, through the current leadership of Mrs. Jean Mensah, you see, I'm very sure that Mr. Kwadwo Afarajan is a very sad man, because the Electoral Commission that Mr. Kwadwo Afarajan built is now in troubled waters. Personally, from where I sit, I do not see how Mrs. Jean Mensah can be able to continue in the event that, say, Mr. John Mahama of the NDC, President Mahama, wins re-election. I expect that as soon as Mr. Mahama, should win the election, that some people in the NDC will write a petition very, very, very similar to the NPP petition that they wrote against Charlotte Osei, and then Mrs. Jean Mensah will be taken through the Charlotte Osei protocol, and then maybe she'll get lucky and she'll end up in Afghanistan or somewhere. You understand? But I believe that the Electoral Commission, after this election, must be comprehensively reformed. Okay, and its structure, the management structure, should be comprehensively reconfigured, because the Electoral Commission, in my opinion, is tainted. You understand? It looks to me like they are tainted. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And Ghanaians, we are just simply going through the motions. You understand? When the Electoral Commission says come and register to vote, what do you have to say? Because it's the voter ID card that a lot of us use to interact business-wise, etc. So we go there not because we like the EC so much, but because we want an ID that we can use to go to the bank, and also when our relatives send us $20 and $50, because the economy is so difficult and the government is not able to do anything to help the youth. So every now and then, if you have a relative or a friend in America, he will think about you and send you $10, so that you can go and eat some banku. And then you need your voter's ID card so that you can go and collect it. It's one of the main reasons people are going. Not because we are so much in love with the EC, which needs to be reformed. You understand? Now, this registration of the voters register, the new voters register, has gone on largely smoothly. You understand? Thank God for the Ghanaian people and their, temperament and their determination to make sure that they will get the card one way or the other non-violently. So it is not so much that the government has done a good job or that the EC has done a good job, as much as it is the fact that Ghanaians are determined to make sure that they get the card one way or the other, so that in December they can go and vote for the Convention People's Party. That is what most Ghanaians are trying to do. That's why they are going for the card. And Ghanaians, please don't forget, let us put the CPP to the test. After all, what do we have to lose? You see, we are expecting that an audit of the registration exercise would occur. But of course, we are expecting that would happen. Indeed, we are expecting that the Electoral Commission would by itself do an internal audit, because it's within their mandate, and because we've given them so much money, so that they would have done a good job, a comprehensively good job, if they do the audit. I expect that. I think that is part of the way they operate, because actually the Electoral Commission, the officers there are actually competent, although it looks like the EC, in my mind, is taken over by political, machinations in my mind. But we expect there to be an audit by the EC. We also expect that civil society organizations will get involved, so that they can defend the integrity of the system. I keep on saying that the voters register does not belong to MPP or NDC or the EC, for that matter. The voters register is a Ghanaian document belonging to you and I. Okay, and its veracity, its authenticity is key to the continued peaceful evolution of the politics in this country. So we are expecting that civil society organizations would also help us do an audit to see if some of these politicians, for instance, when you take a look at the fact that, and you consider the fact that the New Patriotic Party, for instance, as a matter of fact, is so much involved in bribing, people electorally speaking. we don't really trust them alone to do it. So we want civil society organizations to come in, because otherwise the MPP people, they'll just go around and bribe people like the way their members of parliament and aspirants did when they were running for the primaries, just bribing, open criminal bribery everywhere. NPP, disappointing. Okay, now we expect an audit as well to be done by the departments of political science in our universities. This is by default, I expect, because the political scientists in our universities must use the opportunity to exercise their capacity to the benefit of the republic. We are looking up to the political science departments, the heads of the political science departments, to do independent verification to authenticate the veracity of the assertions and the statements and the products coming from the Electoral Commission. You understand? And then we are expecting political parties to, naturally do an audit of a sort, or facilitate an audit. And Kwame, once again, in this opportunity that I have, I want to appeal to Honorable Esiedun Ketia, who is the General Secretary of the most formidable opposition party at the moment. You see, the reality, my fellow Ghanaians, the reality on the ground is that Honorable Esiedun Ketia has the machinery on the ground to check the NPP better than most. So we are asking Honorable Esiedun Ketia to consider it a patriotic duty to the Republic of Ghana, in the name of President Kwame Nkrumah, that they check boot for boot the MPP operations. Because trust me, the MPP, they need checking. If you don't check them, they will be unchecked. And if they are unchecked, your guess is as good as mine.
Okay.
You understand? So, yes, so we need that, because to do so or not to do so would, not benefit the people of Ghana, the well-meaning people of Ghana. And then Kwame, also, in fact, I expect that journalists, especially the journalists of Pan-African TV and the Inside newspaper, patriotic journalists, all of you, would do that diligent exercise necessary to confirm the assertions made by the EC and, educate Ghanaians about the reality as regards how the Electoral Commission is handling this process. You understand? Ultimately, my fellow Ghanaians, the bottom line is this. In December this year, we have the opportunity to reconfigure the leadership of this country. We have the opportunity to put into position people who will create jobs for you, the youth, so that you stop sleeping in your father's living room and staying at home because you don't have jobs. You understand? And even if you have gotten a job to plant trees, the CPP, we can give you a better job. You understand? When you go and do nuclear science at university at the graduate level and you finish and President Akufo-Addo says go and plant a tree, that is not a good job. You understand? So ultimately, we are appealing to the youth of this country. There's a saying, if you take your head and you hit it against the wall, and you keep on hitting it against the wall, and blood is coming, as is happening with the MPP NDC, and this December, you go and take your head and hit it against the wall again, do not expect salad from the Flagstaff House. It will be blood as usual.
Okay.
Unless you vote for the Convention People's Party so that we can change your fortunes. Look at your life. Over the past 4 years, has your life improved? Has your life improved as a Ghanaian? Ask yourself this honest question. People of Ghana should understand that political party support is not Kotoka House. You understand? If you think it is Kotoka House, so I support MPP by all means. What has MPP done for you? What has MPP done for you that you continue to support Nana Akufo-Addo and he gets a very good job at the Flagstaff House? And if it was not for coronavirus, he would not even be in the country, traveling all the time. You understand? What has Nana Akufo-Addo done for you? And then when you talk, they say free SHS. It's free SHS the only thing in this country that we can do. That's why we keep saying you need to vote for a CPP man. We want a president that is able to do more than one significant thing at once. The Convention People's Party, we are that kind of people. Did you listen to Kwanzaa? If you've been watching the show, you should have listened to Kwanzaa earlier. The aspirant for CPP chairman. These are the kinds of people we bring to the table. Convention People's Party. You understand? We'll not come and steal your money.
Okay.
You understand? We have work to do.
Thank you.
All we are trying to do is to bring work and happiness. God bless Ghana. God bless the Convention People's Party. Forward ever.
Thank you very much. Soprano is also very fired up this morning and campaigning fervently for the return of the CPP into the political conversation. They need to do more. That I would say. They need to do more talking, more visibility, and more convincing. Okay, so that people will appreciate the CPP and what it stands for. Let me now come to you, my brother.
Sure, they don't even have a flag bearer. That's unfortunate.
I'm sitting here.
So who is Soprano saying they should vote for?
Me.
I see. But
why? If I say we vote,
come on. Come on.
I may be able to win some votes from NDC.
We'll find some space for you. All right. But Kelly, what is the NDC's problem with EC's position on the matter that there are people who've done multiple registration? What is the NDC's issue? And when they talk about the EC saying that they are going to compile a credible register, and now they are saying people have done multiple registrations, is he suggesting that it negates EC's position on compiling a credible register? In any case, is the EC a magical institution where they can, ab initio say that this is a multiple registration, so don't do it? Indeed, people will have to register before they can detect, and that is how strong and formidable the system is right now. What is the NDC's issue? Why are they trying to ask these irrelevant questions and say that if indeed EC is compiling a new register, then we cannot have cases of multiple registration? Look, I'm telling you on authority in this studio that the NDC has never won any credible election in this country before. Let me remind you, 2012, it was the Supreme Court that gave them a verdict and they won. You agree with me? 2008, there were so many issues that happened. I'm telling you that the NDC, we have noted with concern how they rig, how they use minors to register, how they take people from the border areas to migrate into this country to come and register. We know, and that is the basis for their concern. Look, 13th of August coming, I'll be in court with my constituency because certain Beninois came to our constituency to come and register. And it was the NDC parliamentary candidate who is now defending them. And when we went to court before the case was adjourned, it was Baba Jamal who came to defend them. I'm telling you how serious the issue is. And this is why the NDC will sit here and defend. In any case, what is your beef? If EC says that there are people who have been identified on the electoral roll and they have done multiple registrations, and so we are going to deal with it, and you sit here and say that how can the EC allow multiple registrations? So what they are doing is not credible. They should give you the facts and figures. Hey, so because the EC said that it is an offline system, then you think that there's a loophole to register multiple people, or people should do multiple registrations? Or you think the EC will come and announce every defense that they have in their system to you? No, it is criminal when you do multiple registrations, and whoever has gone through that process must be prosecuted. Let me advise fellow Ghanaians that if you are not 18 years, you are not eligible to go and register. No political party, especially the NDC, because that has been their business from from early days. People who are not 18 years are not qualified to go and register. If you don't live within an electoral area, you have no business to go and register there. Let no political party force you to go and register. When you are apprehended, the law will deal with you. And the NDC must understand that we won't allow them to do things that they used to do, way back. There's a new system, and this new system is going to make sure that it's only Ghanaians who are allowed to be part of the electoral process of this country. Not any foreigner, not any minor. In any case, where is the inter-party resistance against the new voters register? Where are they? Are they still alive? The way the rally was saying, we'll do this, we'll do that. Let me remind them that their inter-party resistance body, it is non-existent. We've seen them say several things that they did not even pursue to the latter. Inter-party, they said the new voters register will never happen. Today we are doing a new voters register. And so for me, I find all his expressions as an act of, frustration, trying to let people, they have not still recovered from their initial position that they won't allow a new voters register to take place. And they are quoting IMANI. IMANI is saying this. I'm not surprised. What has been the initial stance of IMANI on this new compilation? From day one, IMANI has been on the side of the NDC, and they've said that they don't also encourage a new voters register to be compiled. That is IMANI. So I'm not surprised that they are saying that EC saying there's multiple registration. They find it very suspicious. It is not far away from their initial stance that they don't want a new voters register to be compiled. Look, the EC is focused The EC is determined to make sure that we have a clean electoral process, electoral system that does not have foreigners coming into this country to come and decide the fortunes of this country for us. It will not happen. And so the NDC must take their time. They must understand that the Ghanaian democracy is not their property. Everybody is included. And so if the EC is saying that they have detected multiple people who have registered on the system, let's allow the EC to deal with those people. And to all those people who have been bussed, all those people, like I'm saying on 13th, we are going to make sure that all the people that were brought in to come and register, those foreigners by the NDC apparatchiks, the law would deal ruthlessly with them. And so the rally should not really be haywire on this matter. Let's allow the EC to do their work. It is their work to and in fact the system that they are running, I understand, is a receiver system. And so ab initio, you can't just detect multiple registration. KOD, how can I know that if you are registering at the Lalis police station and you write your name there and you come to Soprano station and you come again to write your name, ab initio, we can't know unless your name enters into the system. Before the system will be able to sieve and know that, oh, you registered here and registered there. That is why we have a multiple list system. In any case, why is there a challenge form? A challenge means that somebody will go through the process, then somebody challenges the person, then the challenge list, if you are not able to prove your eligibility to be on the roll, then your name will again be taken out. So it doesn't mean that ab initio, when you are compiling a new register, everything is sacrosanct. What kind of thinking is that? It is a process that must be, interrogated at every level before we come up with a final list. And that is the understanding the NDC must have. And he was making a point that sometimes invitations come late and all that. And the Professor Dr. Bosman is saying the NDC is a threat to democracy. And you think he doesn't have the right to say so? When of course, I mean, Dr. Bosman Sarri is a political scientist. So when he talks about the theory, you should know that he knows what he's talking about. You cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. NDC will invite you for meetings, you don't come. There's a decision taken at IPAC. Then you go and stand somewhere and say that you were not invited or you were not part of the decision making. So the decision that has been taken, you don't subscribe to it. Is that not a threat to democracy? Is that not a threat? Because you decline an invitation, then a decision is taken in your absence, and you say that you were not consulted. Are you the only people who can help our democracy thrive? No, not at all. So you must understand that if going into 2020 elections, they don't have any records to campaign on, they cannot vent their anger and frustrations on the referee, which is the Electoral Commission. This referee is going to maintain its neutrality no matter how much they paint it with the NPP red, white and blue colors. We don't care. What we care is that we will win the elections at the polling station level because the NPP has a record. And this is the first time an incumbent is being contested by an immediate past president. And so it is not about EC. It's about what you have done in governance. That is what the NDC is running away from. That is the conversation they are not interested in. And they want to talk about the EC who is supposedly, or they are alleging that it's because the EC was appointed under the regime of the NPP. But you had an EC who was appointed under a regime, but you lost the election. So what difference does that make? It doesn't make any difference if you have good records and you speak to the Ghanaian people who are ready to vote on issues, not who is a woman or who is a man, or who I mean, it is purely based on record. And so the NDC must retreat, go back to their books, find if there is even any where their good records are, and come and speak to the good people of Ghana. The good people of Ghana do not forget, and they know what happened under the NDC regime. When our colleagues who were in teacher training schools were crying for allowances, the former president danced and told them that he cannot pay any allowance to them. The NPP came, we have restored those allowances, both teacher training and nursing training allowances. We campaigned strongly that we are going to give free senior high school to everybody. Indeed, when we came, we have done that. We said that we are going to digitize our economy. If you go to the port today, if you go to DVLA passport system, every other birth and death, there's serious digitization going on there. And these are the records that we want to talk about. These are the records. Like in the area of education again, we have been told that there were certain e-blocks, and I've explained in the studios before that in secondary cycle education, there's an element of choice. KOD, if I chose Accra Academy and you post me to a school somewhere, you think I'll be happy to go? So the issue there was about expansion of infrastructure in the existing, institutions, not necessarily building new ones. That has been my stance from day one. If you go to the advanced countries, they build on institutions. They make sure that they expand the how do we call it? The capacity of existing. That is why even in Ghana here we can have KFC and other big brands across.
Yep.
You get it. So I don't get the NDC thinking sometimes.
Okay.
But I believe that the good people of Ghana,
all right,
they will have an opportunity 7th December to decide whether to move forward or to still again go back to the old route, which is the NDC, which has never been a good tool for our progress and development.
Thank you.
I believe that the NPP will continue to serve the people in prosperity and development for all.
Thank you very much. In prosperity and in development for all, these are the last words of James Brown, who is communicating for the NPP here on the morning show. Let me remind you again that the WhatsApp number is active, is 0260846539. We are also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. And let me tell you, the views on Facebook is increasing. People are really ready, battle ready for the 2020 elections. It's no longer a joking matter. It's just about 5 months away, in fact less than 5 months to the general elections, and everybody is poised, everybody is ready, everybody wants to vote. People are registering like crazy because they want to exercise their democratic right, which is inalienable and is the fundamental right of every citizen to vote and to elect their leaders, because their leaders must be chosen by the people to represent them. So clearly everybody is ready. Now let me before we move on to the other issue, which has got to do with the ramifications flowing from the voter registration exercise. And I'm sure that there are a lot of things that these wonderful panelists have to say relative to this subject matter. Indeed, Nana Akufo-Addo has denied that that any of such intimidations are happening, and Ghana Web has quoted him. I have read that particular statement. He's indeed admitted that he's not seen anything like that. It's interesting. He's not aware. Those are the words of the president. He's not aware. Now, the Democrat newspaper appears to disagree with the position of the president. Says Nana Akufo-Addo using military and MPP thugs in ethnic discrimination. Says former President John Dramani Mahama. We're going to juxtapose that with registration violence. Kaswa Council of Churches endorses gunshot by Howard Kumsun. So we're going to marry these two topics, deal with them holistically, and then we can move on and to discuss the last issue, which is MPP borrows 135 billion in 3 years. But before that, let me read a few of the messages that have come through on social media. Abdul Malik Asma says, is it 4 more for Nana or no more for Nana? Esinam Samako says, Delali, you've really set the mind of the people of Ghana. Victory is assured. Esinam, good morning. Babamu Petrot says, from Tamale says, Kiodi, former President John Dramani Mahama has no options than to accuse President Nana just to score political points. No amount of vilification can stop this government. There's always uneasiness when dry bones are mentioned. What's there to fear if the NDC has nothing to hide in the voter region? Happy Eid Mubarak. Shakespeare Adam says, if you don't vote for JM, waiting you gain. Sankofa. Felix Venyo Jaskala says, a joke, don't waste your vote. David McGregor says, Osadefo and CPP all the way. Nana Boachi says, oh, Massa, electrical work power. Alfred Wiena says, a very good morning to KOD and your wonderful panelists, especially our MP in waiting, Bernard Mona. Come December 7th this year, I pray that the good people of Ghana will come out in their numbers to uproot this family and friends, corrupt and super incompetent administration out of power. The suffering and insecurity under this hopeless government is unprecedented. Agboto Solom says, must I just accept the fact and stop beating about the bush. David McGregor says, half of Ghanaian population is made up of foreigners. Karima Napari says, Kofi Ansu says, MPP is just simply confused. Bill Stevens says, where are the records for MPP? God will, all of them. Ama Amankwatela is watching. Kofi Ansu says, Mahama Fa. Good news Untitled Chapter says, why will you say that minors are registering while you people refuse to include birth certificates as basic document for the voters registration? I don't understand this guy. If NDC is interested in bringing foreigners to register and vote, they would not have argued for inclusion of birth certificates. Kwame, tell the MPP man that he is just confusing himself. Freeman no se Paul. Now, these are Facebook messages. I'll read the WhatsApp messages a little later. But let me start with you, Soprano. On these two subjects, I just want us to marry the two issues together. Akufo-Addo using military and MPP thugs and ethnic discrimination. Says Mahama, registration violence at Kaswa, Council of Churches endorses screenshots by Hara Pumsen. But most importantly, there's an article attributed to the President of the Republic, Nana Akufo-Addo, which article seeks to suggest that Nana Akufo-Addo has openly made a statement that he is not aware of any intimidation at registration centers. Oh, says President Akufo-Addo.
Kwame, are you sure that report is accurate?
Oh, this is Sunday, 2nd of August 2020. In fact,
Ghana will be credible.
It says President Nana Akufo-Addo has said he's unaware of any form of intimidation by any group of people in any of the Electoral Commission's voters registration exercise centers across the country. Quote, one thing that excites me most is that the registration exercise in Ashanti region and other areas has been very peaceful. I haven't heard of any person being denied the opportunity to register on grounds that you are not this or what. Wait, you are not this or what's so. I don't get it.
This is a typo, I think.
I think I probably on grounds that you are not this
or that
or what. So go. We can't register. Whatever you every person has the right to go and register. What I have heard is that the exercise is going on smoothly in Asawase and Asokore Mampong. We thank God for that. That is the most important thing to us all, to live in unity and peace.
Okay, Kwame, you see, in what you just read, I heard the President talk about Ashanti and then Asokore Mampong, which is also in Ashanti, and that they have been no problems, no assertions. I think from Ashanti, I want to assume that the President is talking about the Ashanti region because he talks about Asokore Mampong and things. Maybe in future we can ask the President if he has not specifically heard about what is happening in places like the Volta region, for instance. Because you see, if I really find, let me backtrack and come again. All I'm saying is that I want to think that the journalist maybe made a typo. You see, when we're reading it, we're having some difficulty. Because if President Akufo-Addo, as president today, has not heard what even my little niece has heard, then I'm very taken aback and very, very suspicious of the intelligence professionals working for the government of Ghana. Is it possible, Kwame, that the IGP has not informed the president? You see, because I can understand that the president is a very busy man, trying to raise money and create jobs for the massive unemployed youth in Ghana. I can imagine that he's so busy that maybe he didn't hear. But he has employed certain people. In Ghana, we have people working at National Security and BNI who are paid every month to give this type of information to the president. So I find it difficult that the president says he's not heard. Or, Kwame, is it the case that maybe the chief of staff has not passed the information to the president? There must be a discrepancy somewhere. Because if the leader of this country, our dear leader, President Akufo-Addo, says he has not heard about what is happening in places, some places in Ghana as regards people being challenged when they were trying to vote and all of these things. If the president has not heard this, then I'm startled. So, Kwame, now I seem to understand why the unemployment situation in Ghana is so high. Because if the president has not heard about the fact that some citizens of Ghana are being challenged and harassed and intimidated when they try to register, if he has not heard it, then I don't think the president has heard that there's unemployment in Ghana to a very high degree. You see, because if this issue, which is a national security issue, the president says he has not heard it, then it's no wonder the MPP think they have created jobs, because then they have not heard the cry of the youth that there are no jobs in the country. You see, because then that is why the president thinks that when you finish your master's degree and you are planting a tree, that it is a job, a serious job. You see, I find it difficult. It is almost dangerous that the president says he has not heard that citizens under his his leadership, because he's our father, all of us. So it is like saying that, I ate a big salad bowl today. I assume everybody has eaten salad, when a lot of people have not eaten at all. In case the president is not aware, I think that this is an opportunity to appeal to my colleague here, James, who has got access to the president, just like that, to simply tell the president the truth. You see, because if the president says he has not heard, but that some citizens, I mean, then
you are circumambulating. Let's deal with the issue.
Yes, Kwame, I'm trying to deal with it.
That, no, you are circumambulating. Let hold on.
Yes, sir.
Because the point is that John Dramani Mahama is saying that Nana Akufo-Addo is using thugs and military to in ethnic discrimination, for the purpose of the voter registration exercise, and they think that they just want to suppress votes in the strongholds of the NDC, right?
Yes.
So that's one aspect of the conversation. I brought in the conversation about Nana Akufo-Addo also saying that he's not heard about these discrimination. So you now need to point to us, you Soprano, point out to us what discrimination you are referring to. For which reason you are saying that you are surprised the president has.
That's what
are you saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, you are circumambulating.
I was laying the groundwork. I was laying the groundwork,
but the foundation is weak.
I've
given you.
You're not allowing me to build a foundation.
What foundation?
Let me build. I'm almost finishing. The foundation.
The foundation, you are circumambulating.
Let me get to the point.
How do you put concrete? And then you put another concrete, then put another concrete.
I'm a different type of architect under the circumstances. You see, but let me finish the foundation. You see, it's very strong. You understand? What I'm saying here is that if the president has not heard this, then it is dangerous for us. You understand? Because an example is that former Ghana Armed Forces official who was going to vote and he was harassed. It was so pitiable to watch a citizen, a patriot who has served his country, being maltreated the way he was. And if even he was the only one in the country who had undergone that trauma, it is one too many. Okay, so if the president says he has not heard this, then some of the citizens, we are startled, because then it's as if the president is not aware of what is going on. You understand? And that might be dangerous for the republic. The president should, probably wear disguise and go around and see things for himself. You understand? The president, we will advise him and suggest to him with the highest respect that he needs to get on the ground himself. You see, I keep saying, Kwame, that because a lot of people around the president want a favor from the president or some kind of job, they are not really able to tell the president when he might be off track. That's why the president should be listening to us in the Convention People's Party, because we don't want anything from him per se. We believe that if he does a good job and the economy rises up, it will carry everybody. You see, that's where our interest in supporting Nana Akufo-Addo's policies lie. That they say that a rising tide floats all boats. We are good enough for that. We feel we are competent people. If the economy is done right, we will find our level.
So to you, there's discrimination.
Oh, I'm not. It's
to
not
you, there's intimidation.
For me, it's not even to me. The video I talked about the gentleman who was a former military official, is adequate evidence. You understand? So there is intimidation.
Okay.
Now, also, Kwame, I'll say this: as a citizen of Ghana, I cannot imagine that I would, undergo the sort of psychological warfare that citizens of Ghana, especially in K2 South, are enduring with the presence of massive military deployments. Now, I voted I registered in the Dome Kwabenya constituency. Okay, there was one policeman there, but he was in the corner minding his business, watching and doing his job. There was no sense of intimidation. But I can imagine that, I'm from Ashanti region, that there will be soldiers there trying to challenge my citizenship. And it is a very sad situation. If the president has not heard this, then all I'm saying is that it is in the interest of Ghana that members of the New Patriotic Party simply tell the president the truth. Trust me, I'm very confident that President Akufo-Addo appreciates truthfulness and people who tell him the reality. You understand? Because if the president is indeed saying that, that's why I've been sounding so incredulous. And I was wondering, where did you read that? Because if President Akufo-Addo has not heard this, then to me, it is akin. It is the same thing as Maria Antoinette asking the people, why don't you give them cake when they cannot get bread?
Thank you very much. Quick commercial break. Stay with us. We shall return shortly.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back. Let me remind you again that you're watching the News Preview segment here on Pan African Television. Let me take a swipe at a few of the messages and then I'll come to Delali and then I'll end with James because I think we don't have a lot of time on our hands. This is the video evidence from the president about not being aware of the incidences of a registration center. Tony from Kumasi sent in this and I've seen the video. Mr. Host, where are we going as Ghanaians? We all know that within the military, they are also NDC followers, but they are only acting under command. The MPP should watch their back. From Thomas Sankara, Suwin Eluokrum. I hope I got it right. This one says, I'm an MPP member, TESCOM president, back at college. MPP man, I agree with your fact, but we, the 2018 unemployed nurses, are seriously doing our own background campaign because, one, all allowance given to us at college was deducted during our rotation. Two, promising us immediate posting and failing. Danger sign for MPP. My brother, all the NAPCO allowances you talk about on media provoke unemployed nurses. Good morning to you. The state of Ghana didn't set up the Ghana Armed Forces to intimidate and suppress the people of Ghana who seek to register and exercise their democratic right. However, Akufo-Addo is using the army to harass people and stop them from going to the registration centers. From 2021, NDC has to clean the Ghana Armed Forces. This is a must. Strong man from Kaswa sent in this one. This one says, good morning to you, Kwame. Please ask the MPP man, how much was the national debt and how much have they borrowed within their 3 years in office? And what have they used the money for? Gabi from Tema sent in this one. Now, this one also says, KOD, I think you are not helping with the viewers. When the MPP guy is talking, you keep quiet without probing and harassing him. But when the other two gentlemen are talking, you harass and take over the discussion. From Ben in Boko. Ben, I only ask questions. KOD, good morning to you. An overwhelming defeat is staring at Akufo-Addo, so he's doing everything possible to stay in power, but he has been rejected by God Almighty. Regards to Alhaji Abi Hussein. This one is from Osman in Tamale. This one says, hi to you too. This one says, tell the MPP man that the new voter register is not credible because where is the facial recognition we were promised to enhance the register? So from the beginning, where facial recognition is missing, it makes the register not credible at all. Al Hassan from Tamale sent in this one. Good morning to you, boss. The way this country is going is not good because how can you send military men to places in this country to prevent people from registering? This one also says, this one is from Kwame in Kumasi. Good morning to KOD. Please tell the MPP man to remember that it's not all the voters that vote for MPP. Therefore, they should be NDC. Therefore, they should be careful because this year's election, I foresee the elephant closer to the bush. This one also says, tell the MPP man to keep mute because we party members are even in danger as voter registration and election is concerned. You deploy macho men to kill and destroy. I'm disappointed in our own party. I'm a victim of an attack in Banda. Meanwhile, I'm MPP. From Kwame. Kwame, thank you. This one says, good morning to you, Kwame. I want to ask the MPP what their fear is. If they have done all their promises, why are they feeling insecure? Thank you very, very much. This one also says, good morning to you, Mr. Host, and your guest. Please, there's no problem in the Ashanti region because in polling station where it's supposed to be 4, but the EC made it 2. But one at once a week here in Accra. In the Ashanti region, all the 4 polling stations is at the same time, 4 machines in the center. Okay, I see what you mean. Emmanuel from Kumasi Center in this one. This one also says, good morning to KOD and your panelists. How can the president be aware of military intimidations? He's always sleeping at the Flagstaff House. KOD, tell the MPP man that he should listen to himself when he speaks. Ghanaians are wise and will decide come December. Government is not about nice speeches and promises. Vote for JDM. Jan BA sent in this one. This one says, James, please keep quiet. What are the jobs? Please be objective small. James says, see how you look nice and have money in your pocket. James, NDC are good for nothing. But at this point, for me, not to spoil my vote, at this point, not for me, I will simply just vote for NDC for now. Because comparing the two, NDC is a little better. But CPP too, we have to wake up so that next time we can win the election. Amen. Good morning to you, Kate. I strongly disagree with the MPP communicator speaking for the EC as if the commission appointed him or he sleeps and wakes with Jemensa from the same bed. I believe he's educated and should allow that flow through his veins instead of saying the EC is doing this or that. His comments will be accepted by Ghanaians if he had said he believes the EC will do a credible job. Ni Ago Daddy from La in Accra. Good morning to you, KOD. Your station we love. Let's pray for a third force party to come and take the reins of this country. If the works of the first president of Ghana can be seen, then that can be seen for the 100. Then what can be shown for the 136 billion that has been borrowed from for 4 years? The 8 years of 122 billion of NDC can be seen at least. My prayers is that CPP is voted for once again. God, please have mercy on your dear beloved country, Ghana. Robert from Spintex sent in this one. Simon from Kaswa says, thank God I got my ID card today. It is my weapon for December 7th to fire those who say they own Ghana. Ghanaians will learn a bitter lesson if Akufo-Addo becomes a president again. Samira Bawumia is a citizen of Ghana. Jan Kroma is a Ghanaian. Nana Akufo is still a Ghanaian citizen, but some areas and some northerners are not Ghanaians. The new Ghana for you. Citizen Popo sent in this one. I mean, the messages are a lot. Willie in Tema says, Kwame, please ask the MPP man when his government will pay our monies locked up with the fund managers. We are suffering. No, December is at the corner. Willie from Tema sent in this particular message. Michael Otin Pabi in Kaswa says, as usual, the MPP likes to take credit for things they have no idea about. Digitization at DVLA far precedes the MPP government. Please, journalists should take some of these communicators on. Well, I agree with you. We shall do that. Sometimes you just have to let them flow and then you ask the questions later. Good morning to you, Kwame. This is the evidence. Okay, I've seen all that. The messages are a lot. Let me come to you, Delali. Whoa, I have 5 minutes left. Wow, Delali. So I'll give you 2 minutes 50 seconds. 2 minutes 50 seconds. And then
Kwame, you see, I will start with this profound quote by one Nitram pastor called Martin Mwala. He says something. He said he came for the socialist. I didn't speak because I wasn't a socialist. They came for the unionist. I didn't speak because I wasn't a unionist. And they came for the Jew. I didn't speak because I wasn't a Jew. And eventually they came for me and there was nobody to speak for me. That was during the era of Adolf Hitler. I'm actually saying this because I want to appeal to the moral conscience of our civil society, the religious leaders and the traditional leaders. What is happening in this country is not only about Voltairean or notness. President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo is setting a tone for this country. Only only God can save us when we get to that tipping point. You see, one thing, when you look at the Security and Intelligence Agency Act, 1996, Act 526, nobody, which makes the President of the Republic of Ghana the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The President cannot tell us that all the security deployment, the military at various what we call borders, intimidating people coming from a certain particular ethnic group, the President cannot tell me that he's not aware of it. But you see, once again, the President has confirmed how dishonest, deceptive, and inconsistent and lack of principle that he is. Because this is a President who is telling us that he's not even aware about the intimidation that is going on all over the country. When it comes to, the intimidation that is targeted at people coming from the Volta region in the northern part of the country. Kwame, I come from Ketu South, Kalikot to be precise. The Ketu South is made up of 3 traditional areas. The Aflawi traditional area, the Some traditional, and the Kalikot traditional area. And even when you look at the landmark, you're talking about maybe from Kasua all the way probably to Sumu. But yet, the NPP led by a tribal bigot like Gabriel Chedako posted on his Facebook wall, create an impression that when you go to Ketu South, there are no human beings there. And that is the basis of this compilation of this voter register. How can you be a president of the Republic of Ghana and be said, see, instead of you admonishing Ghanaians, not to be engaging in selectivity, not to be engaging in travel bigot, you are the one spearheading this. Led by your own what we call Gabriel Chedako. Is that how you preach about unity in this country? The essence of this whole thing is to target votarians, people coming from the northern extraction. Listen to the MPP, MC in Ketu South. Look at the infantile argument that he made. That people were speaking a particular Ewa language, and for that matter, they don't come from that place. Look at the way he lied on City FM. Look at the contradiction. Just because you think that votarians are threat to President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo retention as the President of the Republic of Ghana. Look at what we witnessed yesterday, the video that were trending all over. Just because, don't you have people in this country, are we saying that from 1992 to date, is the Ashanti region not the stronghold of the NPP? Is the Volta region also a stronghold of the NDC? So what is it that all of a sudden, people coming from the Volta region have become a threat to President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo? This is not even about NPP. This has to do with President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo as an individual and his few tribal what we call henchmen. It has nothing to do with the NPP as a political party. We never witnessed when President John Ejekunkwo was the President of the Republic of Ghana. So even those who say that NPP, see, take NPP away from this. Take certain people, supporters of the NPP away from this. This is President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. He's through certain attempt cabal bent on thrusting themselves on the good people of this country. How do you, in this 21st century, engage in this primitive, backward, and evil agenda against your own citizens? And you have people who have conscience who want to defend this. Look at what we witnessed in Banda. An innocent young guy has lost his life. Are you happy about it? It could have been me. It could have been anybody. Anybody at all could have been caught up in that crossfire. That innocent guy who died was not an NDC or an NPP member. And you sit down here and you want to defend it on the altar of political expediency? See, my mother comes from Adidome. The town people are fisher folks. When you go to Yeji Banda and what have you not. My auntie called Christiana Dagadu have lived there more than 20 years. And today, according to President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and some of his NPP hawks, think that they are not Ghanaians. And you see, I want to listen to the Christian Council. I want to listen to the traditional leaders. I want to listen to the civil society. Where is your moral conscience as people? You take your Bible, you go to church, you preach, and you are condoning this. You are telling us that indeed God is a respecter of every person, and you sit down here, you are condoning this. This is what we witnessed in Rwanda, the Tutsis and the Hutus. What has the people of Volta region done wrong to President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo? Is it a crime for any group of people to align to a certain political party? What is all this? Then you have an instances, military have to be going to people homes in Ketu South, taking their voter side, requesting them. Is that the military now determine who is a Ghanaian? Is that the MC of Ketu South who goes and be questioning people in the queue to determine their nationality? What kind of Ghana is this? What kind of Ghana is this? I thought we were the beacon of hope when it comes to Africa. I thought we were the shining example to other African countries. What is President Nana Akufo-Addo turning this country into? Don't you have accounts? Or even President Nana, his son Achimen, who are married to Ewes? Don't you have Ewes who are married to other what we call Akan tribe? That is why I'm saying that this has nothing to do with any other Akan or whatever it is, or anybody. This has to do with an individual who have certain parochial interest that he think his self-interest override the interest of the good people of this country. And you see, what is really going on? I have received a lot of calls when people are beginning to ask certain questions, to the extent that somebody will tell you that, listen, even where I work, I cannot even say that I'm an Ivotarian. Even where I work, I cannot even say I'm a Dontna. Even where I work, I cannot be bold enough and talk about my tribe just because of one person's interest to remain as the president of the Republic of Ghana. We cannot condone this. If you're Ghanaian, it doesn't matter which political party you belong to, and you are sitting down and watching President Nana Akufo-Addo to plunge this country into a civil war, into a tribal war. When the fire consumes all of us, let's wait and see. See, I am ending this. President Nana Akufo-Addo should know one thing. This marginalization of Ewes and people coming from the northern extraction, just because he thinks that they will not vote for him. See, there are a lot of even Achin people as we speak. They will not vote for President Nana Akufo-Addo because they know he has been abysmal. And in concluding, I, Delali, knew President Nana Akufo-Addo would be a disaster. But Kwame, I never for 1 minute thought he would be such a monumental disaster. But I keep on saying, anytime we go down our knees, people like Kofi Kumsen, people like President John Ejikun Kufuor, who admonished us and told us that handing over this country in the hands of President Nana Akufo-Addo is handing over the country into the hands of somebody who is full of tension. Kofi Kumsen said it. He said there's no way he can sleep if President Nana Akufo-Addo becomes the president of the Republic of Ghana. Today, prophetically, whatever he said about President Nana is manifesting before our very eye. What is this? Okay. The Ghana Armed Forces will not see. There are a lot of disciplinarian in the Ghana Armed Forces. This morning, somebody who is a member of the Ghana Armed Forces called me this morning. He said, Delali, the people that were being deprived within the Banda enclave, some of them are my own relatives. So you think that the military, that you are using some of your hoodlums, the thugs, to terrorize innocent Ghanaians, you think the military are happy about it? They are not happy. If he has an intelligence set up as the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, they should go and do a check. But I'm not surprised about him saying that he's not aware. This is a president, he said he was misled when it comes to the Ameridale. Okay. This is a president who said he was not even aware about the Ghana Medical Center, that he has been engulfed in a fire. So the president has become a president of unaware. Okay. He is never aware of anything. He has never been on top of issue. No wonder when they give him a speech, he can plagiarize without knowing that this is a speech that was uttered by somebody some years ago.
Thank you very much, Delali. I can feel the pain beneath the speech. Let me read two messages that will come to my very good friend James, and then we conclude for today. Wow, CPP, I am proud of his spirit. This one also says, where is it? Kwame, I'm surprised. Do we really have a president who cares about his citizens? With all the video evidences, still our president is unaware. I'm sad. This one was sent back from somebody in Kwanta South. Good morning to you, KOD. There's a proverb that when you see a goat have a running stomach, nobody should tell you. MPP have to go because all the allowed government, which is completely unacceptable as a small nation like Ghana. Zuboy from the UK sent in this particular one. This one says, good morning to you, Mr. KOD. Gradually, MPP party is attacking we votarians in all regions. My prayers is they should stop before it's too late to... Lagbaja from Accra sent in this one. Lagbaja. This one says, hi, good morning. If the president is saying he's not aware of all the violence that's better described as insensitive or is engineering all these violence. Okay. John from Cape Coast sent in this one. We want Anado to come and fence Aflao border. We are tired of this barbaric government and wicked. Agbo from Aflao border town. This one also says, good morning to you, Mr. Host. Please let the MPP man know that despite all their schemes and intimidation, being shown with the ongoing registration, God will speak once again for the NDC. This one also says Akufo-Addo is simply evil. Okay, that's your opinion. This one also says from Jojo Gabra in Cape Coast. Okay, right. This one says, why are the MPP members always saying foreigners are coming to register in Ghana? Can they just go to any country to register and vote? They should continue calling Votarians foreigners. We want our independence too. They said no. What at all do they want Votarians to do? God is watching them. You know, my fear exactly is what has been expressed by this lady. Especially when in recent times we know that people are calling for, the separatist movement are calling for the separation, the trans-voter Togoland and things like that. We don't want to be involved in some of these things that are happening. But I don't have a position to take. Let me just allow James to make his point and we'll conclude.
Yes,
on this
thank you.
matter. Yes, sir.
I think that emotions really will not help us to identify the core of the issue. If you're highly emotional about some of these things, you will lose the focus. I have confirmed to you that there are about 6 Beninois that we have arranged before court because we apprehended them and they attempted to register, and the security agents that were present were drawn, their attentions were drawn to it, and the matter is now before the magistrate court, and on the 13th pronouncement will be made. It should give you an idea what is happening elsewhere. I think my brother here has registered. Myself, I have registered. KOD, I'm sure you have registered.
No, I'll do that today.
You do that within the week. Soprano, you have. Did any of you go through any intimidation, sort of? Or was anybody there to try and hijack or stop you from... No, I'm making a point.
Oh, okay.
I'm making a point.
Okay.
The point is that while in K2 South, the 141,000 that have registered, are they not human beings? They have also registered. So it tells you that people have registered there, but there are underlying issues. There are people, are you aware that certain people have also been apprehended in K2 South who openly said that they were brought in and they were not Ghanaians? There's a video trending on social media. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, with the boy in a red shirt.
Exactly. So the point is that I agree.
But the case across board, MPP too, there are people who are
exactly. So those who are being apprehended, you are not in a position to note that they are MPP or NDC. So it's not political. That's why I agree with the texter who said that there are even MPP people there, so we should be careful. The issue is not about MPP or NDC, it's about protecting the jurisprudence and the sovereignty of our country.
My problem with this is that
exactly.
How do you know that we have not also already barred people? For instance, the MPP can decide to bar people from from Togo to Kumasi, and that one will know because already they are in Kumasi. Are you following me?
I am following.
So why? Because they can bar people from, because the border stretches from Aflau all the way to the top.
You might even cross this.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I get it. I think the K2, issue is what has been widely, it has attracted a lot of attention, but it is happening everywhere. At my place, people are being challenged every now and then because there are people who have come in that are not known in the electoral area. So there's a way to deal with it. But if you look at the K2 issue, if you look at the magnanimity of the issue, that is what is causing all these things, and that is a border area. And so enough attention must be sent to that place.
I've not done same for Burkina Faso. That's the problem.
Oh, well, I'm saying that this issue is in isolation for a reason. Because we have seen videos, people sitting on tractors and trailers, busing them into the country, where police personnel have stopped them and questioned them. I'm surprised you've not seen those videos. It is trending everywhere. I'm not justifying anybody who attempts, because I'm not there to say that perhaps they are doing what they are supposed to do. Maybe there are other people who have, joined the whole security agency who are doing untoward things. All I'm saying is that if you're a Ghanaian and you possess the Ghanaian spirit and you have the citizenship in you, nothing at all should stop you. No amount of intimidation should stop you to go and register. That is an encouragement we want to give to our fellows in the voter region and across where there is military presence, because there's an intelligence picked that people are busing people in there. And the rally should not pretend. We know these issues. Politicians bring people from outside the borders to come and register. It is not new. And so in an attempt to, create civility or sanitize the system, we should not again revisit this old, ways of infiltrating our voter register.
Okay.
And so those who are responsible for bringing people across the border into our country to come and register just for political fortunes, those people must be named and shamed. Not the security people who are there to do the right thing. Not those who have been deployed to go and ensure that there's, our borderlines and the sovereignty of our country is protected. Okay. When you shift the argument there, then you have lost it. What about those who bring illegal people into the country? Okay. And they are politicians and you know them. You know these people. So all I'm saying is that the Ghanaian people who are residents and who are, citizens of this country, whether you live in Ketu South or Okankwe South, you should have that boldness to approach a registration center within your electoral area and go and register. If you're a Ghanaian, you have no business allowing the politicians to put you on a mass bus.
Yeah, maybe they don't have money.
Oh, my brother.
You have no job.
My brother. If you have no money, you have family members who can bring you in. Exactly. You don't need a political party to rent a bus and put a lot of people in and say, these are people I am bringing in. You raise suspicion.
Okay.
So the politicians must be advised to do the right thing and allow only Ghanaians only to participate in the process. And finally, the church council that have endorsed the Hawa Kumsen issue, if you ask me, I'll say perhaps they shouldn't have even said anything about the issue. Because, to save yourself all these attacks and all that, if you had been silent, because the majority of the Ghanaian people, they themselves can, have their own judgment on the matter. And if you listen to what the council is saying, it is nothing different from what the member of parliament has already posited. And she said that she did that in defense. And so, you're, re-emphasizing the same fact necessarily does not bring any difference to the table. So for me, they should keep quiet and they should allow the law agencies to do their work. I believe that if there's anything that the law agencies find fault with what she did, they will let us know. But for now,
thank you.
Everybody should keep quiet on the matter.
Thank you very much. JK from Navrongo says, we are now seeing the true nature of this president. Tell him to know that, the biggest disappointment to happen in J. Okay, right. This was good morning to you. Honorable Speak Out, EC and EC MPP created the problem of busing registrants due to the clusters instead of opening every polling station as done since Fourth Republic inception. This one says, please, this government is trying to change everything, including the constitution, so that only MPP members will be called Ghanaians. Mahama Jen sent in this one. This one says, it's sad to be an MPP member. Borders are closed, but still suspecting that foreigners are in Ghana to register. How can a machine that have both facial recognition and a thumbprint feature still accept multiple registrations? Is that the credible voter role they promised? We need Jane and John from Nana Kweku Krobia in Wenchi. This one is from Mohammed Nyani in Tamale. Good morning to you and your panelists. NPP lied to office and now ruling Ghanaians with lies. This one says, good morning to you. This one says, my God. Okay, right. This one also says, A. Farouk in Tamale North says, good morning to you. In fact, our men in uniform, the security service must abide by the ethics and rules of the service and stop being used by the government apparatus intimidating people not to register. Is an act of criminality and nothing else. Let them continue the agenda of NDC's whatever, I don't know. Good morning to you, Kwame. The EC bosses, they are not telling the truth, because last time I went and registered and my image was not seen clear, so I was asked to do it again, but it failed because the machine displayed that I already registered. It's not easy to do double register. I'm a journalist from Boko. Thank you very much, sir. Kwame Akaba in Ho says, Soprano is dodging the issue. How come the new machine procured by the EC could not eliminate the multiple registration? This one says, in terms of busing people, the DCE for North East Gonja bus people from Sababa near Yeji to register Kwalbusu in Saraga North constituency. This one says, there's no voter ID number on the voter's ID card. A lot of people have a lot of issues with this new voters. Right, let me just read a few here. Dipku Ishmael in YO Traffic says, share to you all, champion, it is now legitimate to block people from registering in the voter region and now Banda. Why can't we do same in the Eastern and Ashanti regions? Are Votarians not Ghanaians? Are they not human beings? Are people in other regions better than them? Keep intimidating them. No condition is permanent. Greetings to Bunas, NDC regional chairperson. KOD, good morning to you. You see what Brown is saying. I think it's the very reason why the soldiers should have been stationed at the border post, but in town at polling station or in the houses of people. That one is strange. Gael from Sun City sent in this one. This one says, good morning to you, Mr. House. As the MPP man, Kumasi is close to borders of Ghana. Did they send any military person there? This one also says, did I hear the MPP guy say everyone should keep quiet? That's what we're talking about. Okay. Delali, somebody says he needs your number if you want to put it out.
0244 42 92 28.
Okay. Good morning to you. God bless you, Delali. God will not allow this government to destroy the peace and unity he has blessed us with. It's really sad how things are going on. Delali from Cantonment sent in this one. This one is from Malik Hammond in Tema West. Akufo-Addo is seeing an end of his rule. Okay, thank you very much. The message quite long. Please tell the MPP man that we are listening to the communication that is going on in your studio and he should stop what will put their party and EC in trouble. Emmanuel from Kumasi sent in this one. This one says the MPP man is probably... Okay. Good morning to you, Kwame. It takes the president on national issues to use a pro-MPP TV station to speak to his people. Meanwhile, the national TV station is sitting there. Ayariga Akudugu Moses sent in this one. Messages are okay. A lot, to be honest, and I can't finish all of them. Thank you very much, James Brown, for your time this morning. Always a pleasure to have you in the studios. Thank you, Soprano. Always a always a pleasure to have you in the studio. And thank you very much, Delali, for your time. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you have a very wonderful time. Stay safe. The last phase of the registration starts from today. Please go out there and register. I'm going to get my voter's ID card today. Make sure you go out there and get your ID card. But most importantly, ensure that you observe all the protocols and make sure that you do what is right by you and what is right by the law. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. God bless you. God bless me. God bless our homeland Ghana. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. This has been Good Morning Africa show. Salute.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sergeant Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him, Ghana showboy, Africa's great son, Sergeant Dr. Nkrumah.